It can be so incredibly difficult to let go of the future that you thought you had with the dismissive avoidant. This person promised you a future. They made you feel seen, wanted, and you believed that your future was with this person. They made grand promises for the future. They talked about future trips and vacations you'd take. They talked about the house you'd buy. They even talked about the names of your future pets and perhaps even the children you would have together. And then some time goes by, and out of nowhere, the rug is ripped right from under your feet. This person is shutting down and discarding you like you never even mattered. They are stone cold, and they are giving you very vague, nonsensical excuses like, I can't give you what you need. I'm just not ready for a relationship right now. Or I just lost romantic feelings. And you are absolutely devastated because you believed everything they promised about the future. You bought it hook, line, and sinker. And now, not only are you having to let go of the person that you thought you were in a relationship with, a person that you thought wanted you as badly as you wanted them, but you're also having to let go of a future that was promised to you, a future that you believed that you legitimately had. And that can be the hardest part of all to let go of, the future that you were planning for. Now, early in a relationship, it is something called the shared fantasy with a dismissive avoidant. There is no threat of emotional intimacy because it's just a fairy tale. It's a romance novel. It's a movie. There's no true emotional intimacy early in a relationship. The avoidant is riding the dopamine high, the oxytocin high, the feel-good chemicals that go off in the brain early in a relationship. These hormones are there for the purposes of bonding, but they also make you feel really good. And the avoidant is feeling good. Their fears have not been triggered yet. They're optimistic about the future. They are legitimately believing the things that they're promising you. And they are living in a fantasy land, fantasizing about the future that they're going to have with you. It's an ideal world. Their fears haven't been triggered, and they're feeling great. And they're making these promises to you. But when emotional intimacy builds in the relationship, the avoidant has their fears triggered. Their fears of abandonment, engulfment, and rejection are triggered, and this person gets paralyzed with fear. They shut down, run away, and discard a partner. And these fears go back to childhood when this person was emotionally neglected by their parents or their caretakers. They were not shown the love or the nurturing that they needed as a child. Their feelings were often routinely dismissed. They weren't able to express themselves. So what they learned is that if you rely on anyone for your emotional needs, this person is going to reject you. They're going to abandon you. They're going to hurt you and disappoint you. So as the relationship progresses, despite all the grand promises that the dismissive avoidant made, their fears get triggered. This person gets paralyzed with fear, and they run away and end the relationship. And they are usually unaware of why they do this, because avoidants avoid. They avoid processing emotions. They avoid dealing with difficult issues. This is what they've learned from childhood. This includes avoiding self-reflection. So they are not aware of what their unhealed traumas are. They're not aware of what their attachment wounds are and what their triggers are. Because they don't self-reflect, when they shut down like this, they tell themselves it must be because this is the wrong person. I can't seem to find the right person. But when I find the right person, I won't feel this way. I won't push someone away when it's the right person. And because of this lack of awareness, they can go from relationship to relationship, making grand promises to each person and then ripping it away because they think that they found the wrong person. And every time early in a relationship, before their fears get triggered, they think they finally got it right. They finally found the right person and they're riding that dopamine high. But it's only because emotional intimacy has not been built yet. But once it grows, and it always does, especially if they're in a relationship with a partner that is emotionally available, the avoidant is going to have their fears triggered, and the same cycle of love bombing and then discarding will continue over and over again until this person actually does the work to self-reflect, discover what their unhealed traumas and attachment wounds are, and work towards meaningful change. But if you're on the receiving end of this, it is so incredibly difficult and it's so incredibly painful because this future was something you wanted so badly and you believed you were really going to get it with this person. You felt seen, you felt validated, you felt wanted, and you felt loved. You feel like you had met your twin flame. You felt like you had met your soulmate, and then it is completely over. And it can be very hard to move on from this and to let go of that future. But it is possible. Healing is possible. When you are reminiscing and going down memory lane, endlessly ruminating about this future and the good times you had together, you are actually inadvertently putting this person up on a pedestal because you're just focusing on the positives, the future you thought you had, as well as the good memories. It's important to consciously remind yourself of the other side of the avoidant. Every time you ruminate, remind yourself about their selfishness, their lack of emotional availability, their inability to sustain a relationship. Remind yourself of those things because the more you consistently remind yourself of that, you will slowly remove this person from the pedestal. And once they're coming down off of that pedestal, you begin to heal, detach, and you can genuinely move on. It's a process, and it requires conscious effort on your part. But the human mind learns a repetition. So when you repeat these things that you know to be true to yourself, that's what it takes to both intellectually and emotionally understand what happened to you and to heal and move on. And understand, this was not your fault. If this person promised you a future and you were only a good partner to them and treated them with love and they ran away and discarded anyway, that's a reflection of them, their unhealed attachment wounds, their unhealed traumas, as well as their character. You didn't cause that, so don't personalize their traumas. And yes, well-intentioned family members and friends will not understand what you're going through unless they've been through it themselves. It's not a normal kind of breakup, and it is not a normal experience to have your future ripped away from you so abruptly and so brutally. So have some patience with yourself, have some self-compassion, and don't beat yourself up because you didn't cause this and you didn't deserve it.